Am I the a-hole for telling my husband's affair baby's family to either come get the kid, or I'm calling CPS? My 53 female soon-to-be ex-husband Roger, 47, whom I forgave for his affair, came home with the baby from months ago. His girlfriend, 22, could not handle it anymore and brought the baby to him at work and left. To the best of his knowledge, she is in Spain. I allowed him to stay so long as I didn't have to do anything. Well, about a month ago, Roger had a heart attack. It didn't kill him. More's the pity, but he is very weak and incapable of doing anything for himself. Since he isn't up and about, he cannot care for his child. He also cannot drop off and pick up his son at daycare. I have been helping, but I'm done. My kids are full grown. I shouldn't be having grandkids anytime soon. I do not have any desire to care for a baby. I told Roger that I want a divorce, and I contacted the mother's parents. I know the father through friends. I said they had until Friday to come get their grandchild, or I was calling Child Protective Services. They just left with the baby, but they scolded me for being so cold towards a baby that had done me no harm. I view that child differently. Roger is recovering, and I will be moving out. The house is in his name, but I have never contributed to it. I have the equivalent of 22 years of rent and interest put away. And as per our prenup, my savings are my own. I work, and I don't need anything out of this marriage except myself. My kids tried telling me to stay and help their father. I said that they were welcome to come over and help him with cleaning himself and the baby. Both declined what I felt was a fair offer. I do not feel that I am acting badly, however, Roger, our children, his child's family, and a few mutual friends think I am. Perhaps writing this out and seeing the responses will give me clarity. Update. I am no longer divorcing Roger. There were complications from his heart attack, and he has passed away. I am conflicted. He was the love of my love, but also a cheating piece of trash. To the best of my knowledge, the mother will not return from Europe. The child is currently with her parents. They asked me what I wanted to do. I recommended adoption. Not that I adopt the child, that they put the child up for adoption. They didn't like that suggestion. Neither did my children. They said I am being cold and cruel. I suggested that since the child was related to them and not to me, that they step up. Neither has accepted that suggestion either. I was the sole beneficiary of Roger's estate, so I imagine lawyers will be involved in getting the child some sort of support. I will pay whatever is ordered by the court out of the estate. I will not pay 1 cent out of my money. Last update. The girl's parents finally did the right thing and cut her off. I had passed along their contact information to several dozen Redditors who seemed eager to help. Just an email. I did not reveal their identities or even their names. I believe this pressure convinced them to act. They finally got the clue that I would in no way take any responsibility for the child. Between her parents no longer funding her and the current climate in Spain against visitors, the child's mother has returned. I have washed my hands of the entire situation, except for one thing. I have spoken with the lawyers, and I will be splitting some of Roger's estate into 3 parts for the children. My children will get theirs immediately as they are adults. The child's money will be going into a trust with his brother and sister as the trustees. This will take some doing, and as such will mean more money goes to the lawyers. Perhaps Shakespeare was correct with regards to that profession. My children are now less enthusiastic about their young sibling, but that is neither here nor there. They were the ones who insisted I involve myself. If there is anything left when I pass, they can split that between themselves, as I will not be leaving anything to that child. Am I the a-hole for ghosting my girlfriend after she nearly killed both of us? So, my girlfriend, 20 female, and I, 20 male, have been together for a little over 10 months now. We haven't had any heated arguments or fights, except for the fact that she keeps tickling me randomly, despite the fact that I've repeatedly told her to never do it again because I can act strangely. It's something from my childhood which I won't delve into. Now to get to the current situation. This week I've had my car returned from a paint job and some major look changes, and I was really satisfied with the results. So I took a day off from work and took my girlfriend on a short trip outside the city. We drove to a lake, ate some food, and relaxed for a couple of hours until it got pretty dark, and we decided to head back home to get some sleep as I had to go to work the next day, and she had an exam. On the way home, I started talking about how happy I felt with how the paint job turned out, and out of nowhere, she starts tickling me. I pushed her hand away and told her to stop. Then she reached for my ribs with both hands and got me swerving off the road. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, although my car got some deep scratches, but that doesn't even matter anymore, as I already slowed down after her first attempt to tickle me. I'll admit that I told her what the fuck is wrong with you as soon as we stepped out of the car, and she started crying, but I couldn't care less as I felt as if my veins were about to pop. When we got home, I told her to pack her things and go to her best friend. but she threw a tantrum and begged me to forgive her for a little mistake. I didn't say a word. I simply stared in disgust and pointed to her luggage. After her friend picked her up, I tried to go to sleep, but my mind was racing, so I barely got any rest. This happened on Tuesday, and she's been blowing up my phone ever since. But I haven't answered any calls or text and just blocked her. This led to her friend coming to my house and telling me to at least hear my girlfriend out. But I've told her to fuck off and leave me alone, which made her tell me that I'm more in love with the car than with my girlfriend. So, am I the a-hole in this situation? Should I talk to my girlfriend? I already feel like I can't trust her after what happened, and that our relationship can't be fixed. Am I the a-hole for canceling our gender reveal party because I know my husband will be unhappy and possibly leave? My 37 female husband 43 male, and I have a son 9 male together. And I am currently pregnant with our second child. My husband and I have already booked the venue for the gender reveal. We'll lose the photographer's deposit and what we spent on decorations, etc. However, my husband is more concerned about the reputation effect as he grew up affluent, has a very high-paying job, and also a stake in a family business. However, I can tell that despite us already having a boy who he absolutely adores, they can do no wrong. In each other's eyes, my son always had every toy, fun activity, best clothes gifted by his dad. He desperately wants our second child, who we expect to be our last, to be a boy. I went into planning this reveal rationalizing that gender disappointment is okay. But I've come to realize that there's wishing you're having a son, and then there's fixating on not having a daughter even more than wanting another son. And my husband falls into the second category. We didn't do a gender reveal for our firstborn because my husband kept putting off whether or not he wanted to hear it from the doctor and when. We ended up learning with him ecstatic about having a son less than a month before giving birth. It's not all his fault. He grew up with an older dad who was always controlling towards his mother. Their town at the time was essentially a company town, and his dad threatened her family's jobs. Plus, he made it impossible for her to go about her day without seeing him, until she agreed to be with him. My husband also pursued me pretty aggressively, and we had tension over how I at times felt uneasy around him. Yes, we've been in therapy over this. Our marriage had been strained because I was done with him not understanding why my body was still not 100% 3 months after giving birth. He would counter by saying I turned down sex the day after giving birth, but that was him showing he was attracted to me post-baby. Now his demons are back. We got to a point where he said fine to me going alone to hear the baby's gender, without telling him, and I found out we're having a girl. I guess I don't have a good poker face by his negative reaction after I got home. He is arguing he doesn't know the baby's gender because I did not explicitly tell him, but 100% he does know. I'd be fine with the reveal where the guests are the ones being surprised, but it's in a week. And with each day my husband grows more withdrawn, and he's not the type who can fake happiness, and often tries to leave and pull me away with him when he's really upset. I decided to pull the plug. Again, he's not mad about the money, yet he's angry that we're doing this to our family and friends and what this may say about him. I put my foot down. Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for punishing my family by no longer doing birthdays, holidays, vacations because my dad screwed me and my wife over? When my wife and I were talking about getting married, my dad said that he would give us a down payment for a home. We were thrilled and kept that in mind. We would be able to afford a good starter home with his help, and we scrimped and saved to add to it. Except apparently he meant a sum of money good for a down payment for a house near us, where the cost of living is low. He did not ever mean a down payment for a home in Colorado, where my wife and I have lived since we were in college. He said he thought I would be smart enough to realize that we need to move somewhere with a lower COL than Colorado. He keeps saying move to a cheaper city. Our lives are here. Our friends, our jobs, our hobbies. You can't exactly leave your house and be up on top of a 14,000 feet peak in 6 hours where my family is. I told him that we had never talked about moving back there, and we never would. That we would rather be stuck renting for a while longer than be stuck somewhere we didn't want to be, and the move to a cheaper city wouldn't work for us. He said so be it, and gave us the amount, and that was that. I expressed gratitude and thanked him for the money. It is still towards the goal. Well, because of this shift in our finances, we have had to make a lot of changes to save up the rest of the money. We have had to cut out vacations, birthday gifts, holidays, etc. We won't be traveling home for a few years. At our current rate, we should have an okay down payment by the end of next year, 2025. My dad confronted us about this because we won't come for a summer break trip and told me that I was being a selfish, entitled brat because I hadn't gotten my way. that I was essentially punishing the rest of the family because we assumed what his gift would be. I told him that I was grateful for the amount he gave us, but that it means we do need to buckle down and save every penny if we want to be able to afford a house anytime soon. Even townhouses around us are easily over 400K, and that's for the sketchy ones. But is my dad right? Am I the whole at it? There was no amount formally discussed. He said a down payment, and that was that. For my siblings, he paid for college. He paid cash in full for my sister's house. It was $317,000. He did not pay for my college. They are invited to come here anytime. But believe it should be me to go there because I am the one who moved. No, we do not go out to eat avocado toast, Starbucks, cable, etc., etc. Am I the whole for hiring a cleaning service and paying for it out of my wife's budget? My wife is a stay-at-home mom. We have 2 children, 10/12ths. I pay all the bills, put money aside for the kids' education, emergencies, savings, vacations, retirement, etc. Then whatever is left I split 50/50 with my wife. Recently she has decided that I do not do enough around the house. So she wants me to start doing more chores. I asked if we were going to split up all the chores again. What I mean is the kids have their chores. She has hers, and I have mine. So if she wants me to do more, I want mine redistributed as well. I think she can mow the lawn and do the yard work and house maintenance. This is not what she wants. She wants me to take on more of the chores we agreed would be hers, on top of earning all the money and all the chores I currently have. I asked her what she wanted me to do. She gave me a list. I hired a cleaning service and paid for it out of our budget before splitting the fund money. Now she says that I'm an asshole and being financially abusive. I think it's a fair compromise.